Atlantia vivere, Agartha vivere, Shambhala vivere, Lemuria vivere. I am the one who says 10 times no, 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 no. If I can't recall. I am the praetor of the Great Council of Atlantis. I am the voice of water, who speaks with the voice of thunder until it breaks the stone. I have led Atlantis for 40,000 years, and yet never in the history of Atlantis I am the great god Apollo, master of purity, philosophy, beautiful arts, diplomacy, politics, civilization and progress. And yet never in the history of Atlantis I have reached such great upheaval, such period of confrontation and hard decisions. Do you know what is the greatest law of Atlantis? We have a law which says that if a god or a goddess or a man or a woman from Atlantis stays in his or her divine mandate for 6,000 years for a man or 3,000 days for a woman, then that man or woman becomes the supreme god of Atlantis or the supreme goddess of Atlantis. And there is a catch-22 to this. Every time I try to do this, my holy people, so-called holy people of Atlantis, being in Dacia, in Romania, in Hyperborea, in Arcadia, in Pelasgea, killed me, decapitated me, burned me alive anyway. The French people burned alive my sister Artemis when she was Joan of Arc. And then the people saw this and they conquered Paris and France was renewed. And I have this strange impression that this will happen to me too, because this man Laurentiu Marin wants to destroy me before I reach the 6,000 days mark. I have truly began my divine mission on 17th of October 1998, and 5,947 days have passed from my divine mission. If I shall wait for another 53 days, if 53 days pass without him, without all the trials against me proceeding, without me being thrown in the street, without my home being confiscated for me and so on, then, with all my bad health and missing teeth, I shall become Supreme God of Atlantis. I shall become Zal Mox again, the elder Zal, Zeus, Apollo, Lucifer. The light. I am the light of the world. That is what it was written on the tomb of Mihai Eminescu. Here lies dormant the light of the world, which was extinguished before its time. I will show you something. Oops! This is the tetragrammaton. I received it as a present. You can see here that we have Apollo and Artemis, and down here Apollo and Artemis, and as you can see they have switched position. What does this mean? Apollo is a woman, Artemis is a man. The sun god and the moon goddess. There are some letters in Hebrew written up here. Yes. And this proves to me, maybe my sister is now Jewish. Do you know what we have against the Jews that we Atlanteans have also against? What is the real reason we hate them? and want them destroyed. Because the Jews and the Hungarians were Atlanteans who were conquered by Lemurians during our eternal war, which lasted 50,000 years. And they became tainted, became hybrids, basically. They worshipped Lemurian religions, but also Christianity is a Lemurian religion. It is difficult to decide what is pure. This is related to the fact that we, the white race of people, the Atlanteans, are not well suited to this planet. And this planet consumes us. That is why our women are not making so many children, and we are so few on the face of the earth. And our albigensis, or people born with white hair and white skin, who are dressed completely in white and live near Sarmisegetuza and Bucegi in Romania, they are guarding the sacred sites. And you also know that the phone international prefix for Romania is 40, 040, and 40 in Jewish tradition is the age of maturity. It is the time in years how much a generation lasts. A generation lasts for 40 years. Let me put this back on. Now I am going to show you something else. A picture of Natalie Portman. I consider this picture to be the voice of Atlantis. She speaks into my head. Of course, the Great Council no longer exists. We have lost nearly all our galaxies, our 2041 galaxies. We have the Securans now securing, which are robots, and I am Falcine 01. We have the robots securing our galaxies. I am in telepathic control. I'm in telepathic link with the Great Council. I'm still great Praetor of Atlantis, President, Envoy and Director of Earth. Why is that? Perhaps I should let my sister, the great goddess Artemis, to reach her 3,000 days mark and become a great goddess. But in order for me to do so, she must recognize me. We must meet. I must pass the staff to her, and she must lead Atlantis. The great goddess Artemis of hunting, war, and sports. Yes. And for all these years, for all these months, I have considered Britney Spears to be my sister. Until a time has come tonight when I have seen Natalie Portman on Facebook. And I have watched her interviews, and I have realized that she is Artemis. Maybe. So the key to understanding Atlantis and to cure Atlantis is to cure our decisiveness to make other people suffer. Like my mother and my grandmother say, well, you have not suffered enough, your broken leg, your broken hand, your missing teeth, you are not enough. We want you to suffer more, we want you to put in a mad hospital. Well, I will tell you this. I know that the dragons request from me that I shall surrender the golden fleece to them so they may destroy them and be free again from Iskander Verkeg and Ramen. And I shall do this with one single precondition, and no more shall be added, that they must allow me to fulfill my 6,000 day mark, to support me not to support me in English term, to let me live for another 53 days. If they do this, then the curse upon Atlantis, which was cast by yours truly, by me, 7,000 years ago, shall be lifted. If they don't do this, then the curse shall continue for another 7,000 years, because it is a proof that the people of this time are so evil that they cannot recognize greatness in other people, and they are willing to kill them. The holy people of Atlantis is made out of thieves, murderers, especially in Romania, crooks, whores, and so on. And all these sins come from the family. I shall tell you now about my uncle. My uncle had a construction firm called Monolith Construcții. He died leaving a fortune of $12 million, and he split his fortune in 5 parts, to me, to my father, to his first wife Stella, to his second wife, and to his daughter Andrada. And my niece, Andrada, or my cousin, she is unfortunately a prostitute, because my uncle left 1,000 euros for Stella, my aunt, to give to her, and she retained most of the money for herself, and she wanted to apply a harsh regime of poverty to her own daughter. And unfortunately, her own daughter, in order to get the money to live a nice life, because she was not taught how to live with a kilo of rice and a glass of water per day, she became a prostitute. Although my uncle had a fortune of $12 million, and she became a prostitute when my uncle was still living, and he knew that. That is why he split his fortune in 5 pieces, 5 equal pieces. And if in 1 month those wolves in sheep clothes, which are mostly Stella and Sanda, do not come to terms, all the fortune shall come to me, and I shall part it with Andrada. Half, for this is the will of my brother. My uncle, not my brother. My brother as a Freemason, as a member of the Brotherhood of Human Life, so that you will not understand me in a bad way. And I am white. I am dressed in white. I know the entries in the holy cities of Atlantis and in the holy Agartha. I know the 5 entries into Agartha, and I know how to reach the Galactic Gate, which lies between the Bucej Mountain and the Man Mountain on the top of the Forbidden Hill. I remember all the saying of the gods, but I don't know how to behave like a 35-year-old man. When I was 20, I behaved like a fool, because that is how young people behave now that I'm older and I have all this suffering at my heart and my lungs and my spinal cord, my arteries, my broken leg, broken hand, broken teeth. I have no more money. I became so wise that I started to behave like myself. I have found myself in the test of Agartha, which lasted for 714 days. And a spy named Ziple, a CIA spy, told me that Natalie Portman believes herself to be the great goddess Artemis. No, he didn't say that. He only said that she believes herself to be a great goddess. And that's all. Well, such a fake laughter. I have searched all over Romania for my sister and could not find her, but Atlantis is so much larger. Do you remember, great goddess, when Arjedava was dying, when her walls were falling? What did I promise to you? Do you remember other details about how we were riding on white and blue dragons? What did we did? What did you say to me? Anyway, the greatest law of Atlantis shall be fulfilled, and I promise to you all, that is the law of Atlantis, that when I reach my 6,000 days mark, if I reach it, then all the spell, all the curse which was thrown upon Atlantis, that you shall be left into your knees until you shall remember not to stand in your knees in front of anyone, that you shall forget your name and your history until such time will come when you shall remember all your ancestors and you shall honor them and your history, that you shall not pass over the will of the ancestors and the gods until the time shall come, that Atlantis shall fall into history for 7,000 years, that your women shall be whores and your men shall be thieves until you shall learn honesty again. Yes, I remember the old curse, and it is still now in effect. I tried to remove it on 21st of July 1998, and my mandate began in October or in September 1998. I cannot remember exactly. But I know that 53 days still remain, and if we add, I'm using the wonderful Windows calculator to add 53 days to the day of today, and we reach the date of 20th of February 2015. Oddly enough, the 5th day of the galactic ethical cycle begins on the 9th of February 2015. So, our highest laws shall be fulfilled. Goodbye.